I am currently filming in the trunk of my car. That is a hockey stick and this is a Gatorade because I am Canadian. Now, am I just trying to avoid my family or am I trying to make a point? Well, can't it be both? And now I'm vlogging in the dead of night, waking up my neighbors. Can you see my breath? It is cold. And now I'm recording in the studio. Gorgeous. And now I'm filming this in the trunk of an evil car. So I shot all of that epic footage with this tiny little fantastic light. This is the Zhiyun M20C, and you may have seen it around. It's getting rave reviews, and for good reason. I used one in the trunk and one in the outdoor scene, and then in the studio I actually used two. One as a key light and one as a fill light. And you can do that and so much more with this little light. This is easily the best value pocket RGB that I have ever seen. Now, there are a couple of problems with this light. There are a couple of flaws that may be deal breakers for you. So it may make you want to consider the Aperture MC Pro, which I think is the main competitor to this particular light, but I will get to that at the end of the video, you know, for the algorithm. But right now, let's talk about what makes this light so absolutely fantastic. And a little disclaimer, of course, Zhiyun sent this light out for the purpose of review, but they don't get any input on the video and no money changed hands. They don't even get to see the video before it is posted live. I do use a lot of Zhiyun products. I like them. This one right here is the gimbals. A lot of people know Zhiyun for their gimbals. I really like the Weeble 3S. This right here is the Crane M3S, and I love this with my little ZV-E10 or my A6700. Great gimbals, but they are going bananas with the lights right now. Like this one right here, there's another little pocket light. This one is 40 watts, a ridiculously powerful bicolor light for only about $99. I have a different one back here. This is my Molus G60, this adorable little COB light I have lighting up my background. I also have another one right here with a tiny softbox as my fill light because I want smaller lights in my studio. I don't want giant COB lights and giant softboxes taking up all the room I have in my little space. I also have a couple of the Zhiyun wand lights in my home studio, which I am thinking about putting in this studio because I love them so much. So suffice it to say, I use a lot of different Zhiyun lights, and they're very practical for me with their size and their power output. And that is one of the things that makes this light so fantastic, is just when you combine the features and the price and the power. Now let me just show you how bright this tiny little light is. I am going to pick it up, but I am not going to look at it because I am not insane. But like, look at the brightness. I can light up the whole background here of my studio with one tiny little light. That is awesome. If you had a couple of these, you could light up a whole warehouse. Don't quote me on that, but probably a whole warehouse. Oh God, I looked at it. Now this one here is the M20C combo kit. That is the one that I would recommend because it is not that much more expensive than without the combo, and you really get some great bang for your buck. First thing I will mention with this RGB light, all the colors of the rainbow, by the way. They also sell an M20 that is not the RGB, just M20 bicolor light, but I would get the RGB because it gives you so much more versatility. But if you want to save a few bucks and you aren't looking for the RGB part, you just want a nice bicolor light, then you can go with the M20. But it's the M20C for me all the way. And look at this. First thing I will show you here is the barn doors. Oh my goodness. This makes such a difference when it comes to light. You can just flag your light. So if it's going somewhere you don't want it to go, this is something that no other RGB pocket light has, to my knowledge anyway, and it makes a gigantic difference for you to be able to shape the light, point it where you want it to go, and direct it, flag it off. Maybe you just want to flag it on this side but have it open on this side. Barn doors are so great. Barn doors actually have little numbers, little sticker numbers on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you always know how to close your barn doors there to pack it up. You can take those stickers off once you get used to it, but I like to keep them on because I am very scatterbrained. And the barn doors, they come off with magnets. It's just, and very strong magnets, by the way. You just cannot move anything from these magnets. Sometimes you get these RGB lights and they have magnetic accessories, but they can drop off pretty easily. Not this one with Zhiyun. This is rock solid. And when you take off the barn doors, you will see this grid right here, and a grid keeps your light from spilling all over the place. It's not like the barn doors where you're flagging off certain parts. This is directional. It keeps it from spilling to the background, let's say. So you can use those two in combination or just one or the other. But I have grids on all of my lights because I don't want my light spilling all over my background. I want it directed right here at my pretty eyes. And after this, you get another thing right here. See, you can't take it off too easily. It is on there really solidly. This is a little diffusion panel right here, and it already has a pretty soft light. So let me just take off that last one there, and then it has a soft light right here that's already diffused. But if you want more diffusion, you have this right here, and I'll have it on backwards. It clicks on right there. Woo, almost pinched my finger. The magnet is so strong. And speaking of magnets, on the back of the case here, and it is a case that you can remove, there is a very strong magnet. Here, I'll just hold up my second one so that you can see them clicking together. Oi, they are a really strong magnet on the back. But like I said, this is actually a case. So you can just pull up this right here and pull this out, and you have a tiny little light. You talk about pocketable. Look at this little thing. This is actually the size of the light. And then on the back, it has that very cool design, very like steampunk design. I like it with these two analog. This is the fan right here. Lots of space to dissipate the heat of a powerful little light. And right here, they're reminding you that it is 20 watts RGB, and very, very nice design. And I definitely want to keep this in this case. This case is extremely functional, not just for the magnet, but for the cold shoes it has around. So it has one here on top, one on the side, on the other side, and then on the bottom itself, there's a 1/4 thread, and also another mount to put into like a hot shoe. And it's so important to have more cold shoes around a product, because if you just slide this into a camera, let me do that. So you just put this into a camera, and let's say you wanted to use a lav mic like I was doing in the beginning of this video. You have nowhere to put your lav mic sometimes when you have one of these pocket lights when it's filling up your hot shoe on your camera. So with this, you can just slide the receiver for your microphone into one of the cold shoes, or add other accessories, a shotgun mic or something else. Or in fact, you can add another one of these lights because it can slide into its own cold shoe. So then you can stack these and have a bunch of them if you want really powerful lights, and they can all be controlled by an app. I'll show you the app, but this is really well thought out by Zhiyun, so you can use these in many different creative ways. So you can control everything from your mobile app, but you can also control the entire light from the back here with these two knobs, and it has a little fail-safe when you want to turn it on. Instead of just being able to press it once and have it come on by accident, you do a short press, then a long press, and then the light powers up. So no accidental turning on of this light in your camera bag. Another little nice, well thought out thing from Zhiyun. And right now it's on the CCT. I have it on 5500. I can turn that over to the HSI, and now I can change that to any color under the sun that you want to use. And so that is often how I use this, as a little accent light. Add a little bit of color to my background or something else. You can go into RGB as well. And the FX, there are 9 different FXs. Effects is what you would say. 9 different FXs. There's 9 different effects on this thing. I'm not going to show you them in case you are prone to seizures out there. And but you know, those are there. And now look at this. See how it's moving from my voice. See, it has a music mode where the microphone in the thing will pick up the beat of the music or someone's beautiful sing-song voice, and then it will flash according to, you know, the beat of the music or what Mark Bennett is saying. So that can be very cool. That can be a great effect for a party. Something like that. Have this thing going. That's nice. So let me just show you the app real quick. I'll click on the light, and now I can control the color temperature down from 2500 to 10,000 Kelvin. I can control the brightness as well. Let's turn that down. And then I can gel my CCTs. I can just pick any color under the sun right here, and change the hue, change the saturation, do whatever you want to do. Oh, this is really cool here. This is a color picker. So you can just pick any color that you want and then click it right there, and then the light itself will turn into that color. That is very cool. I like that. You can also do that with the CCT, which is really, really great. The CCT pairing. So let's say here, I will point it at my Molus G60, and I will turn the light to the same color as my kicker light. So if you are somewhere where you have mixed lighting and you don't know the temperatures of the lights that you're using, you can just do the picker, pick this, match it to those lights. Very cool. You can control so much from the app. Very slick, very easy to use, and of course it jives with all the other Zhiyun lights. So you could set up a whole studio right here with this app. So now you might be wondering, what are the two flaws that I mentioned at the beginning of this video that might be deal breakers for some people and push them to get something like the Aperture MC Pro, even though the Aperture is more expensive, less powerful, and doesn't have these fancy barn doors? Well, the first thing I will say is weather resistance. The Aperture is actually weather resistant to dust and moisture as it is fully sealed, whereas this guy, not sealed. Definitely wouldn't want to take this out in the elements. And the other one is the fan noise. You can definitely hear the fan noise on this light when it kicks in. The fan noise has kicked in now. If you put it about 50% or higher, I find it kicks in after just a little while, and you do hear the fan. I will be quiet for once in my life so that you can hear the fan noise if it's right here by my yapper. Now, while you can hear the fan noise on this light, it won't be a problem for most people because most people aren't putting a light right next to a microphone. You know, they keep it further away. And even though I'm in a sound-treated room and it is nice and quiet, I am annoyed by fan noise on lights, but this one is not bad enough to make me not want to use it, especially because the microphones won't pick it up unless it's very close to the microphone. So you have to decide if that is a deal breaker for you, that and the weather sealing, because other than that, this is such a fantastic, versatile light that can do absolutely anything for you for a great price. So thanks to Zhiyun for sending this out for review, and thanks to you guys for watching this. Let me know down below if this is something you would be interested in. Affiliate links, of course, they're all down there to make me stinking rich. And if it's not something that floats your boat, let me know what does, and we'll be sure to make a video about it. Okay, talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Seriously, my neighbors must think I am nuts.